Now we're going to look at a second example from this section on solving right triangles. So before we were given a side in one of the acute angles, but now let's consider a triangle for which we only know two side lengths. Okay, so suppose that for a right triangle ABC, we are given that A is 91 feet and B is 85 feet. So I drew my triangle and labeled it here. Now I don't have either of these acute angles, but I do know B and A, so I can find C just with the Pythagorean theorem. So we set it up. 91 squared plus 85 squared is equal to C squared. Evaluate those and add them together, and then we take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to round this answer to the nearest whole number, which would be 125 feet. So here's our triangle with our added information. So we want to look at our original information to find the measures of angle A and B. So let's start with A. So for angle A, we know it's opposite and it's adjacent, okay, which means we're going to be looking at tangent. So we set up our equation. The tangent of A is equal to its opposite over adjacent. And then when I simplify this fraction, I get 1.0706. And now, in order to find the angle measure, I have to use inverse tangent. So, when I take the inverse tangent of that number, I get 47 degrees rounded to the nearest whole number. Now we're going to look at B. Now I know that B is the complement to A, and I could just find it that way. But I'm going to use my original information and use that fact as part of my check. Okay, so for B, I know it's opposite and it's adjacent. So we're going to use tangent again. So we can set up the equation. The tangent of B equals its opposite over its adjacent. And then we simplify the fraction. Again, we have to use the inverse tangent. And it turns out that B is 43 degrees. And indeed, 43 and 47 are complements of each other. So the last thing we want to do is check all the conditions here. Is the sum of the angles 180? 47, 43, and 90? Yeah. Do the side lengths follow the Pythagorean theorem? Yes, we use the Pythagorean theorem to generate the side lengths. And finally, are the measures arranged properly? The smallest angle here is 43, so it should be opposite the smallest side, and it is. C should be the longest side because it's the hypotenuse, so that checks.